So what does grief recovery look like after a major loss in life? It could be the loss of a relationship. It could be the loss of a dead one, of a loved one via death. It could be the loss of a job. It could be the loss of a pet. It could be the loss of a best friend. It could be, I mean, even the loss of an addiction. You know, it's kind of crazy. We go through a grieving process when we let go of addictions. But I'm going to share with you some of the key steps that I want you to think about. If you're grieving now, or you have grief, and you need to sort of move through it, I'll share some of this with you. Remember, take notes every time. Please don't trust your brain. Whenever you trust your brain, you're just setting yourself for absolute failure. Take notes and do something today you'd rather not do, like maybe take notes. So grief recovery can come in all kinds of different phases, and I'm going to tell you something. There's no pathway to grief recovery. In other words, grief recovery will include dealing with sadness, maybe anger, rage, resentment, guilt, shame. Grief recovery can demand of you to go into emotions that you want to avoid, but there's no direct pathway. In other words, when I take people through our grief recovery program that we've offered for about 22 years now, we go through all these different emotions, shame and guilt and anger and rage and resentment over the loss of a marriage, over the loss of a parent, over the loss of a job. We go through every emotion that you can imagine in detail, in writing, never just in your brain, so that we can experience the release at the cellular level of where these emotions reside. Now, what happens if we don't do the grief work? Well, that's where we start to see an increase in alcohol consumption, food consumption, that we start to become more irritable, we become bitter in life, jaded in life. We may become addicted to television, nicotine as a way to distract ourselves from the pain, all those levels I just mentioned, right? Grief recovery is not a straight line. You don't start at sadness and anger and loss and then end at acceptance in a straight, narrowed line. I've had clients that have gone through acceptance. They thought they're at acceptance, and as they finish doing the acceptance work of the loss of a job, a loved one, a relationship, the loss of some type of physical capability, that all of a sudden they felt rage come back, or disappointment, or shame, or guilt come back. So there's not like a direct line. The most important thing, get with a professional that knows what they're doing in the world of grief recovery, follow their guidance, and make sure that every exercise they give you is in writing. If you're working with a grief recovery individual, an expert, or a group, and there's no written assignments, you are absolutely wasting 90% of your time. You might find a 10% benefit, but it's not going to be lasting. If I can help you, go to our website, talkdavid.com, or email me directly at this video. Let's get together and work a very solid, long-term grief recovery program so you can be free. When you're over your grief and you've really worked through it, it doesn't mean you'll look back sometimes and feel a sadness at the loss of the job or the loss of a body function or the loss of a loved one. You may miss that person, but you won't miss them to the point where it's debilitating. You won't miss them to the point of staying stuck in an addiction because we haven't dealt with the emotions, okay? Please share these videos. Get them out to all your friends. Let's help this world heal, okay? I'm David Essel, talkdavid.com. Have a great day.